I knew in my head and my heart that I was going to have to give up driving within a couple of years. When going back 2.5 years now, when I went to get my driver's license renewed, I barely made it. Because the third test behind the wheel, I barely made it. So I said, trouble on the horizon. So at that time, I knew the trouble was coming. Also, prior to that time, I was not allowed to drive at night. I'll go back a little further. Because I had been asked by my pastor to go to the Catholic Church in Malibu to take a class in spiritual direction and counseling. I started that while I could see. Wonderful course, one of the smartest things I ever did. By the end of that 2 years, I was not really able to see at night. And I was on the edge of trying to continue and killing somebody else and myself, or giving it up. It was no great surprise, because I kind of had 2 years preparing myself for that event. I didn't really want to give up the car, but I knew that I had to. So I lived near here at that time, but for 25 years, driving from here to Malibu to go to Mass and come back. One surprise that I had a couple of months after I stopped driving. One day I had an immense feeling of relief. And I said to myself, why, Ralph, all of a sudden you have this overwhelming sense of relief? And it was because a burden had been lifted from me. And I felt very joyful and happy that day because I felt the burden of having a car, the expenses, the danger, I tended to get very distracted. All of that had been lifted. I had not anticipated that, and it made me very happy.